Hello and welcome to The Public Good. This is Dejia James from Partnership for the Public Good, or PPG, which unites over 365 organizations working to build a better Buffalo. We're delighted to join you every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. on Power 96.5 FM and Mix 1080 a.m. You can also watch full live video of every show on our YouTube page. Follow PPG Buffalo on Facebook and Instagram for more information on how to access video and the full podcast of our show. And of course, you can always get great information on our website, ppgbuffalo.org. Today, we are joined by Real Talk and the Natural Hustle Entertainment. We're joined specifically by Janisha Whitlock right now, and she's here to discuss the second annual Teen Block Party this Sunday, September 3rd, 2023, and it's going to be at Johnny B. Wiley Stadium. First, I just love for you to introduce yourself to the guests, who you are, where you come from a little bit, and how this initiative kind of all started.
Okay, so my name is Janisha Whitlock. I'm from Buffalo, New York, born and raised. This program started, well, it was here long before me, but I got into it because COVID. After everything that happened after COVID, when I left high school, everything, all the programs got shut down, everything got shut down. And, Buffalo was very depressing. So why I joined the Real Talk team is because I wanted to create an environment or be around an environment that gives teen and young adults a space to be. What I'm realizing now is that, teens and young adults don't have the same freedom or same outlets or same spaces to be creative or be, themselves. And that I did when I was in high school.
Right.
There's no more after school programs, no, there's not really anything for them to create. And so that's why I just wanted to be in a space where it allows them to create.
No, that's so true. I mean, I think especially with COVID, but even before COVID, they were not letting teens be in the mall or all of the all of the roller skater rinks closed except for the ones real far out in North Tonawanda or somewhere. And how are teens supposed to get there if they don't have a car, if they can't drive, or if they don't have access to that? And it's almost been being a teen in public space is seen as criminalized. They feel like, oh, they're there to cause trouble, or people see a group of teens and they're immediately annoyed. But they need public space to be themselves and to hang out safely as well. So that's a really, really huge problem. And I've talked to a few past guests on this. So the block party itself that you're having, this is the second one. So you guys had one last year.
Yes.
What is it the block party about? What do you guys have there at the block party?
Okay, so the block party is a movement for change. So we're trying to create an event where people can come, and everything is free. We have mental health tents.
Right.
We have music therapy. Stuff fun stuff too, but stuff that'll get them to think about their feelings, their emotions. Yeah.
And we don't really get a chance to talk about our emotions a lot. A lot of time it's just go to school, make sure you do this, make sure you get a job for the summer, make sure you do that. And nobody's really worried about how you're feeling or what you want to talk about. So how important is that that you guys do have that mental health kind of space there? How important is including that?
It is very important. The mental health aspect is one of the top things that we focus on. We do a bunch of mental activities. We just, all summer from May, we done put together mental health smash rooms.
Wow.
So, a rage room, but for teens and young adults, completely free. And, it worked. People came, broke everything, and let out some steam, So, it's just stuff like that.
So what other kind of events do you do? You're mentioning you did the free smash rooms. What other things?
We do open mics. We do just little pop-up events.
Yeah.
We do, Yeah.
How do people keep up with that? Like y'all Instagram, Facebook, like what do you guys have that make sure people know that this stuff is going on so they can make sure they try and attend?
Yes, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. That's it, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, good. So you have this block party coming up. Is there anything else that y'all are thinking about for the fall that you're going to do? I know everybody's going back to school, but...
Yes, fall we're going to have... I believe we're going to be kicking back up with our open mics.
Oh, good.
And, yeah, we usually have a few month period where we do open mics, and, you know, it gives the teens and young adults a chance to perform on a big stage at the end. So, and be paid for it.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to be kicking that back up. In October, I believe we have one more Halloween Smash Room coming.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned the importance of a creative outlet, right? And so the open mics, is it poetry? Is it singing? Is it rapping? Is it anything?
All of the above.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All of the above. People come do voguing,
wow,
acting, poetry, singing, rapping, comedy, everything.
Yeah. That's
everything.
Amazing. And do you have it at different venues usually, or is it usually around the same place?
Yeah, it's the same place, the same, building.
Where is that?
CBD.
Okay, got you. But that's amazing because there really aren't a lot of, there's some programs for youth to do arts and stuff, but it'll be a specific thing. Like you have to paint, or you got to write, or you have to do this or that. And so having a place where it's really kind of like an expo almost of just any talent. I love how you guys included voguing and kind of LGBTQ things as well, because I know especially now a lot of youth suffer from maybe community not being as accepting of those things and finding a space that they can have for that. So I love that you all have that available to them. The other thing that you're having at the event is about like physical health too. So do you guys promote kind of like healthy eating or exercise or other things a part of kind of healthy lifestyle stuff? What do you think about that?
So this is something I'm gonna just speak from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Like my coworker, like they be on my butt about like, cause so we're about like taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, you know. So we try to push, show yourself love, how you show others love, as far as eating, how you talk to yourself, all that. So. Yeah, I don't know how to explain how, I
get it. It's kind of like starting from love of self first, like trying to build that up. Because sometimes people don't focus like on themselves. They're focused on other people in their lives, their family or their job or whatever, and you're not really focusing on your own well-being. So taking care of yourself really is key. I love that. But I also love what you're saying about treating yourself as you treat others, and incorporating that, because I don't think teens necessarily think that way. So that's awesome. What makes you feel like you especially need to target teens in particular? Because some adults have these issues too, but I think I mentioned before, teens are kind of forgotten.
Yes.
So
that's the point. Teens are forgotten. Yeah. Teens and young adults are very much forgotten. It's like they become 13, 14, 15, whatever, they start developing their own mind. Right. So a lot of the time, the parents don't want to deal with that child developing their own mind.
Yeah.
So they become a little forgotten.
Yeah.
And what we don't want them to be forgotten. We want them to know that you are seen, you are being heard, you are loved, you are you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I think, especially in the Black community, parenting styles, everybody's changing a little bit. There's like soft parenting now and all this new stuff. Yeah. But it's been tough, like within our community, and I don't think parents necessarily see their children as like human beings with their own thoughts, right? And so I love that you're making a space where teens can be their full entire selves without pushback or
without judgment.
Exactly, because that's the biggest thing. Especially as we grew up, we're growing up different than our parents. And teens now, I'm a little older. unfortunately. But teens now, I think, especially are growing up just in a whole different era. Like I remember when there weren't cell phones or internet or all this information available to me, and I did have to just take what my mom said at face value. But now we know a little bit more, right? And so that's going to change the dynamic between parent and child. I think that's a very large adjustment for adults, but I hope adults who are listening to this can understand that their teens need their own space to develop their own mindset, to develop their own confidence, and all of those things.
And one thing I will say, like, just because teens need their space and to have that, that doesn't mean, step off completely.
Yeah.
Be invested in that teen. Support that teen in developing their own mind. Don't just back off and let them do them.
Exactly.
Be there, but, Yeah.
But it's about not trying to just force yourself or your ideals onto them, right? You have to work with your teen. And that's the biggest thing. And I know parents struggle with having kind of that equal partnership with a child type of situation, but it's really, really important that you treat your children as whole human beings. And yes, they're growing. Yes, they still have more things to learn. But it's up to them to learn some of those lessons. You can't just put it onto them. And remember when you were a teen and you didn't know everything.
Yes, let them make mistakes, please.
Yeah. So I love that. I love that you're involved with this specific initiative. So for you, what's your favorite part of being involved? Are you creative yourself? Do you have your own business? Is there anything you're particularly interested in?
So me, I actually brung the Smash Room to Real Talk.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something where, I actually wanted to do it and make money from it.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Entrepreneurship.
But it was brought to my attention that I could do it another way that'll help, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the industry like I'm already in.
Yeah.
Like being a part of the community, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I act. I host.
Wow.
And I used to perform and stuff, but I don't do that no more. I act and host. Yeah.
What is your advice to other young people who want to act or do something creative that maybe their parents are like, no, you need to be a doctor, you got to go to nursing school, or you got to whatever. How do you achieve your dreams? How do you work towards doing something like that?
Okay, because that was something I really struggled with. Like, my mom, she wanted me, go find a job, go work. I was too busy. I wanted to act and perform and be on stage.
Right.
So I'm I'm fighting between the two, but it's like, do what your heart desires. It builds character and learning from what you did way back when to now. It shows growth and it builds character. So I just say, stay true to your mind, stay true to your thoughts, and just do what's best for you, not what's best for your parents.
And it's important to be around other people like you, right, that also want to be creatives. Because if you're around a bunch of people that are like, that's stupid or whatever, that's going to put negative thoughts into your head, make you depressed, make you second guess yourself. So it's really important to find community with others. And the biggest part of what you guys are trying to do is bring
community.
Bring community and creative people together. So I hope someone listening out here wants to join in with y'all to really find their community, especially if they feel like they've been trying to search for it, they haven't been able to find it. I want to thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be talking to Christine soon about some of the other pieces, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Christine.
Of course.
Let's introduce yourself and where you come from, how you kind of got into this work with the block party and everything like that. So people can know.
Yes. So my name is Christine Martin. I am the co-CEO of the Natural Hustle Entertainment. I started the Natural Hustle in 2019 unofficially, just as a promotional team, just to get out there, meet people, try to make sure people have good times at events. It kind of grew and evolved into what it is today, which is the Natural Hustle Entertainment. We do event planning, photography, videography, dance classes, graphic design, and promotion. As of course, a couple other things on the back end like web design and stuff like that, but so yeah, we do a lot. We wear a lot of hats. I've also worked in the nonprofit realm. I want to say for almost 7 years now, or about 7 years.
Yeah.
So I've been working with youth, teens, I worked at a daycare once upon a time and young adults. Currently right now, 16 to 24-year-olds in my day job. So I'm just really familiar in working with young people. Is something that I really care about.
Yeah.
And yeah, and a little bit about me. Other than personally, I am from the Bronx, New York. I came to Buffalo for college, like most people, and
Right.
stayed in Buffalo after
Yeah.
college. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science from Buff State in 2019, and I've been doing the thing ever since.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're
Thank
always
you.
happy to have people that especially want to give back to community, and for you to not be here and be giving back to the community in this way is just absolutely amazing and admirable.
Thank
So
you.
I love that. I want to get a little bit into the natural hustle because
Yes.
I think it's amazing. One, you being a Black woman entrepreneur trying to make this happen. So I'm wondering, what kind of advice would you give to young women who have an idea, right? And they want to bring it to fruition? Like, what advice do you give them on following their dreams or actually taking that idea they think about every day and actually doing something about it?
The advice I would give is definitely like go for it and do your homework.
Yeah.
I feel like I have like 1,001 ideas about everything, but it's definitely like taking the first steps and like doing your research is like the first step
Yeah.
before like, jumping into a project. Like try to prepare yourself with as much education and knowledge as you can before completely delving into it.
Yeah.
And the Natural Hustle is, I'm the co-CEO, so the co-owner is also a Black male. So yeah, it's a bunch of Black greatness over here.
No, it's amazing. And I've
Yes.
seen some events you've thrown outside of the block party, but just like
Yes,
other things,
yes.
like I think you've done some things at the Heights before, in
Yes.
different locations around the city.
Oh, she looked us up. Oh,
Well, and I didn't even have to because
Yeah.
honestly, I had just seen it in my personal,
Oh,
goings on.
awesome.
So
Thank you.
I do think that's awesome that you guys are doing that because I think for a while there wasn't a lot of safe spaces for people like
Right.
us to go and have some fun, and that was really relevant to us. I think the older crowd had a little bit of a
Yes.
place to go.
Yes,
but
like
I'm
they
not
have
sure.
their hot spots, but like
They
we
sure
need
do.
our hot spots too without it having to get shut down.
Exactly.
Or, BS
Exactly.
happening. So that's definitely our point. Like we do
Exactly.
annual events. We do an annual Juneteenth event. We just had our 3rd annual this past June.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. We do that at Buffalo Ironworks.
Oh, awesome.
We have our 3rd annual Natural Hustle Artist Showcase where we usually have local Buffalo artists perform at that as well
Yeah.
and business vendors. And that's in November 11th. So
Yeah.
it's a lot in the works. And now that we're a part of the Team Block Party,
Yeah.
we're going to be doing this annually with Real Talk. So I'm excited to just keep up the momentum, be able to do more events in the city of Buffalo for all age groups and demographics, but focusing and catering to our people.
Right. And like an unconventional outlet, right? Like a lot of people, I think a lot of people are pursuing creative careers now. It's a little bit more common, especially when we have social media and can do all these
especially
different
due to
things.
COVID too.
Yeah, people were like, if I'm stuck in the house, I might as well be doing what I want to do, right? Or if my job asking me to come back and I don't really, if I know I don't want to go back
Yeah,
there.
you trying to cut hours, split schedules, you got used to home life.
Yeah, it's different. And I think people were able to get in tune with themselves in a different way being home that, maybe you had a passion and an idea. And I know I started a certain idea, which is why I think you're so inspiring because I started seeing some of your things when I started something of my own, actually, called Turntable Renaissance, where I do DJ kind of highlighting and things like that. And there's so many local talented like artists and creatives and events and other things. So that's why I'm happy you're kind of making a more centralized circuit, an outlet for all of those people to participate in. So I'm just wondering how you feel coming across just so many creatives kind of in our age range.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Like it's exciting, it's motivating, and I really want to be able to like the goal is to get an event space this year. Pray for me, y'all.
Yeah.
I want to get an event space this year because we really want to do more events for local creatives to be able to not, pay a hefty price that unfortunately we've been paying at other venues and stuff, but it's hard. Like most of what the things that you want to do, most of the money goes to like booking the venue.
Yeah.
Like if I'm being completely honest. Like,
no, that's the biggest cost because we don't have our own land and space. And that's really the biggest barrier, I think, for us to even have our own businesses is like having that real estate, literal real estate.
Literally. And then having the knowledge to try to get into the real estate and try to lease a space in the city of Buffalo.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a learning curve, but I'm learning the curve. I'm catching the wave. So.
Yeah, but I think that's such a part of what people don't understand and the barriers to entrepreneurship as a person of color. Like there's so many disadvantages we have because we just don't have the knowledge of real estate, of investment, of like investment both in us investing and also people getting investors for our own projects as well. Because a lot of time you just need capital, like the sheer blockage of us have accessible capital is really hard.
Right. And to touch on that, they want you to have capital before you even request capital in some cases. Like, how can I get my business off the ground to have capital if I'm starting, at zero with whatever my 9-to-5 job is paying?
Exactly. And in the meantime, you're still trying to pay your bills or
you
live.
might have a family.
Exactly. And so I'm glad there's some initiatives out there, Beverly Grace Center, and there's some other things that, try to help. Exactly. But, it's a few organizations with a lot of people trying to do things.
Yes.
So I think it's really important that we highlight the barrier there and what you're really trying to do and why it's so admirable.
Yes.
I just love that you're doing that. Now, how did you get involved directly with the Block Party and Teen Talk and things of that nature? And why do you feel like that partnership is so important for you to participate in?
Ashley and myself and the co-CEO Bryant, we kind of go way back. We actually all used to work at the Boys and Girls Club once upon a time, and that's how we met in our child care experiences. And she was already doing Real Talk. And it kind of just blossomed. Like we had a great working relationship. She went on and moved, past the club. I eventually moved on past the club. And it kind of came full circle. We were doing events and she's been doing events as well. And it was we were both kind of at the time where it was like, it's time to level up from, just like the hookah lounges and the, bar scene.
Yep.
It's time to start doing more other events that is more inclusive, but for the community. It's like with purpose, with educational, not just like with a cup in your hand.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to definitely get involved in the Teen Block Party. So last year we were just, like in a more assistant capacity. We came, shared resources as we were able to, and kind of got looped in towards like as soon as the Block Party was kind of getting ready to just happen.
Yeah.
And then, we did the best we could to just pull it all together. And last year it was a phenomenal event. If you missed last year, you better make sure you're there this weekend.
Yeah.
But it just came full circle. And I think, just our, like the Real Talk principles, those values that she holds with that, like they speak to all of us. Oh, excuse me. They speak to all of us. And it's just really Real Talk, the principles, what she's trying to put into the young people in the city of Buffalo. It just aligns with what we do, because like we want to create experiences for people that they'll be able to remember for the rest of their lives. And like her mission and our mission, like they align.
Yeah. And you're making space not just for teens, but really other creatives like yourselves or entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call it, to come together in a space where it's like community support.
Yes.
Because it can feel like a lonely road when you're trying to, like you said, get capital or figure out how I'm going to get a space.
Who else knows this?
Yes, right. And somebody has bumped their head a couple times before, doing this whole thing.
Yes. So Ashley, she's very much been like a great mentor to me and Bryant. And just, sharing ideas, sharing information.
Yeah.
And even vice versa, because like some things we might have done, she hasn't, and so it's definitely like a give and take. And we've always had a pretty great relationship, and it's just evolved even more since us starting this partnership together. So we've been doing like the Smash Room since May monthly. Now we have the Block Party. So I'm excited, and we have a bunch of other stuff planned for the rest of this year and next year. So
Yeah, I'm wondering what other events are you going to have coming up? And they don't necessarily have to just be community oriented, because I know like even just like relaxing, like, you know, convening partying space for us is really important too. So what other kind of events do you have so people know how to get connected with y'all? Yeah.
So we are partnering on a Halloween themed Smash Room haunted house event. That's going to be a Halloween weekend. I believe it's October 27th-ish. Don't quote me. Whatever that weekend is. It'll be most likely that Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
And that we're doing with Real Talk and Teens Who Care. And then after that, I'm sure we're probably going to start Can You Hear Me Now again. That hasn't, you know, officially started back, but we'll definitely be working with Ashley and Devon with Can You Hear Me Now, and having the young people. It's kind of when people come and perform, you know, the 16 to 24-year-old, and even as young as like 13 to 21-ish. They'll come, perform, practice their, you know, performance skills, practice like, you know, just performing in front of an audience is like huge. And then like the way we would like to set it up is to possibly for them to like basically in preparation for a larger show. So or a larger prize. So like radio plays, something to pretty much like take their career to the next level. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the goal. So we have a lot of things. And then, like I said, we have our 3rd annual Natural Hustle Artist Showcase that we're doing November 11th, most likely at Buffalo Ironworks. Hopefully nobody took the date yet.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on. We want to do a winter showcase as well for youth to perform. And then as far as like partying and stuff, we like to have like the artist showcases to kind of be like a performance / party vibe. So definitely come out to that if you're interested. And then as far as like the regular parties, to be announced, we're actually working on a Caribbean festival.
Yes.
I'm not going to speak too much about it.
Bring
it's
the
very
flavor
fresh.
here. Bring it.
I honestly am like, I know there's a ton of like Caribbean people in Buffalo, but like everybody's in like silos and like different.
I think, you know, in
areas.
the winter just makes everybody go a little dormant and it doesn't inspire people to really get outside and do much. But you seeing little stuff here and there, and people like yourself come from the city and bringing it out. So once again, we just appreciate you joining.
Thank you.
We appreciate the Natural Hustle. Make sure y'all follow Instagram, everything like that, so you can get more information. Thank you so much for joining us, Christine. I really appreciate it. This is Dejia James with Partnership for the Public Good, or PPG, uniting over 365 organizations working to build a better Buffalo. Join us next week, where we will be joined by Stephanie Pete, co-founder and owner of Second Chapter Bookstore, to discuss racial equity, literacy, and youth apprenticeship. It's the Public Good, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. on Power 96.5 FM and Mix 1080 a.m.